What is going on, guys? It's Like a Hero, and today I'm bringing you my solo platinum run 100k Nightfall for the Ordeal Broodhold. As always, before we get into the video, guys, make sure to hit that like button to help with the exposure of the channel. I mean, it helps out so much, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're interested, if you like the content we've been dropping here lately on all things Destiny 2. The first thing we want to talk about on the Nightfall are the modifiers. So this is again a 1250, a legend difficulty run here, Nightfall the Ordeal. We have Empath, which gives us enhanced radar. However, we take increased damage from melee. The two types of champions that we're going to run out into this run are Unstoppable champions and Barrier champions. So we need to mod accordingly to be able to handle that. Our equipment, of course, is locked. We have Match Game, which we're going to run into Solar shielded enemies and Arc shielded enemies. Now, again, all unmatched elemental damage, the enemies are highly resistant to it. It doesn't do that much damage. So we're going to match for that, and we're going to do some good damage against those enemies. Finally, we have Incoming Void, and environmental damage is increased. Look, I didn't put a clickbaity title saying, oh, super easy, fast, clear on Nightfall 100k solo. This is not a cheese run, okay? This is probably not what you came here to see anyways. If you're interested in that, I'm going to briefly mention it during the run, the cheesy part that you can do here. However, this is straight legit head to toe, guys. So for this build, I have 100 mobility and 100 discipline. So on my hand cannon, I have the True Prophecy. And again, this hand cannon is to deal with those unstoppable champions. We're going to use it to control them. But it also at the same time provides a little utility to take care of those mid-range to long-range NPCs where the Ikalos, my submachine gun, kind of struggles with. My SMG is the Ikalos. It's one of the best SMGs in the game. Mine doesn't have great perks. I mean, it has a decent perk. Vorpal Weapon is definitely helpful here. I do have Pulse Monitor on the other. I do have a major spec on there. Now, it is Masterwork, and that's super important. I'm going to talk about that again in a little bit here. You do not want to be always constantly hitting the Warmind cells that spawn here. I do have a Xenophage as my heavy. It's a machine gun. Super important. I would say almost a necessity for this run if you're running it as a hunter. For my helmet, it is the exotic Wormhusk crown. Now on dodge, I get a small health and shield bump. Now because I do have 100 mobility, I'm getting my dodge every 11 seconds. I do have machine gun ammo finder on there and a charge up for my charged with light build here. Unstoppable hand cannon mod on the gauntlet with anti-barrier submachine gun. Again, I do have global reach, which is going to be on kill with a 7 Seraph weapon. I do have a chance to spawn those Warmind cells. You don't want to always shoot those Warmind cells though, because we need orbs of power. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Sniper damage resistant is on the chest armor along with high energy fire, which means that while I'm charged with light, I get bonus weapon damage, okay? And I do have those charged up to have more than one stack. For my leg armor, I do have the recuperation, 2 of them. Now this is a solar mod, which means that every time I pick up an orb of power, I'm actually getting a little bit of health every time. That helps with the sustainability, the survivability of this. I do have taking charge, which allows me to become charged with light whenever I pick up orbs of power. For my cloak, I do have Spoils of War, and that is defeating enemy champions with a finisher grants me heavy ammo for my Xenophage. Now, let's talk about those orbs of power. We want orbs of power because we want to be able to get more points, as much points as possible. So if you have a Masterwork weapon, which you should have both of them, I don't have my hand cannon Masterwork here, and I was able to do it, so you at least have one of yours, okay? The Masterwork here generates orbs on multi-kills. And this is important because those orbs that we pick up, those orbs of power, are going to actually give us points. And the more multi-kills we get, the more points we're going to get to be able to do this run and get to 100k. Because at the end of the day, it is pretty close. It is, I think I finished with maybe 100,000. We'll see in a little bit, just over 100,000 here. Now, orbs of power also give us charge with light, which means we can do more damage. And orbs of power also regenerate health because we do have those mods on our leg armor there. For my subclass, I'm taking Nightstalker and I'm taking the bottom tree. Now I do have lockdown, which means that our grenades are going to last twice as long. And this works great synergy with combat provisions, which whenever our grenades damage an enemy, it gives us melee ability energy. And whenever we use our melee ability, we gain invisibility. Now, Heart of the Pack is what we get, that buff. It gives us weapon haste, which is reload speed and some other things. We get mobility, recovery, and resilience, a boost to that, okay? So we go invisible, we throw our grenade. As our grenade is doing damage, we get our melee ability, our trap back, our smoke bomb. Every time we throw our smoke bomb down, we actually get a big reduction in cooldown for our own grenade. There's occasions where you could get your grenade back, you go invisible, you throw your grenade, you go invisible again, you throw your grenade. You can just spam the grenades like that. Now, I do have this fire shadow shot multiple times, the Mobius quiver here. Be careful when you use this because there's such high damage in there that when you get launched into the air like that, shooting those arrows, you could potentially get killed. So I'd be very careful when I use that. Now, this run is all about knowing what to do when you enter a room and doing it quickly so that you don't get overwhelmed with mobs. Right off the bat here in this first room, we're going to deal with an unstoppable champion and a barrier champion. We're going to immediately kill the wizard there. Just get that out the way with the heavy. Don't worry about not using it. We're going to stick to this right side here and basically clear as much of the room as we can. You notice that as I throw my grenade, I go invisible and my grenade is already about to come back up. Now I do have a lot of discipline here, so that helps. But you can see I'm about to throw 2 grenades in maybe 10 seconds here. And so that's a pretty good spam, right, for the grenade. It's already back up. Once we clear that room, make sure we take out that wizard at the beginning because it's going to cause you problems in this spot right here when you're trying to cross. We're going to use our True Prophecy to stun and control that unstoppable champion. You do have to hold down the ADS for a little bit until your gun loads up that round to stun. But once it does, you stun the champion. Don't be afraid to just do it multiple times. Just control the champion. Throw your grenade, and you can see here that I'm throwing my smoke bomb. I have my smoke bomb back up because it was dealing damage. And control the room. Take your time with it, okay? And very easily. Make sure you're always finishing off the combatants with your finisher, of course, so that you get more ammo. Again, just throw that grenade, get your trap back, go invisible. This is kind of the thing to do here. You're going to always be able to start the NPC engagement on your terms if you're doing this. You might have multiple NPCs that are attacking you, so being able to go invisible and kind of reset the room, so to speak, getting in a good position is super important for this. I do clear those War Mine cells after, but you can see right there that I got about 850 points just from orbs so far. And that could add up to quite a bit here. I stick to the right side. There's a couple of thralls. You want to kill 4 of them, 1 here on the left. You don't necessarily have to go the route that I do, but I do recommend it. Notice how I'm not blowing up those tanks unless I have to. I want to try to generate as many orbs as possible. When I pick these up right here, you're going to see that those orbs are giving me 15 points each. So that stacks up, it adds up. Again, you come into this part, and this is the part where people cheese, okay? What they do is they don't pick up that worm. They just let it go away. They drop it, and it kind of respawns. And you can continually farm that champion if you want to do it that way. And, you go over it might take you longer, but you're going to sit there for like a long time farming that champion. Otherwise, I try to stick in this next room, in this area right here, spawn a War Mine cell, and here I do the War Mine. I just want to clear the room. I don't want to deal with it. In this room, we do have 1 anti-barrier champion. This is kind of why I do that War Mine cell there, is so that way I can easily handle this champion without having to worry about the snipers that are on the right side over there. If you're not doing the War Mine cell there, make sure you handle the snipers that are on the right side of the room on the platform. Those will one-shot you if you're not careful. You can kind of use my point guide on the bottom right here as a guide to know how many points you need to have, or if you're at a certain point, maybe you got less or more points. Then you can kind of decide if you can use some of those War Mine cells and just to clear the room faster, okay? Once you do get past the 20-minute mark on this run, you actually start losing points. So that is another thing to kind of keep an eye on here, this timer here. But again, we're just going to go through the same thing, constantly using our invisibility here. to get that increased reload speed, to get our recovery up. And we're just going to be trying to get as many multi-kills as we can throughout this. So you do have some opportunities here to farm those orbs of power. This next room, we kind of want to stay up here in this area and use our xenophage to take out those wizards. Those wizards are a pain in the behind here, especially if you're on the lower platform of this. So we just take out all 3 of those wizards, and now we're going to go here to the right side. I do use my super here, but it also kind of causes some issues here. So again, that's the problem when you're kind of you're airborne, so you're more vulnerable. Okay, so just be careful on using your super here. We're just going to back it up here. We're going to go invisible. Again, I probably shouldn't have used my super there. And once we kind of clear the room, here's where I would say if you're going to use a Warm Mind Cell, it's a good time to use it here if you need to. If not, then just keep farming those orbs of power here. Now, there is a lot of heavy that does spawn in here, especially since we do have that heavy machine gun finder mod, 2 of them on there. So you could see why we took out those wizards at the top, because right now they would be shooting at us if we had not. Again, you're going to make your way up to this other platform. I didn't pick up those, the worms here. We're kind of leaving those. We're going to clear the room first, and then we're going to pick up those orbs. We don't want to, it actually saves us a little bit of time here as far as making it safer, but at the same time, we're avoiding the increased mobs that spawn in, okay, while we're carrying an orb. You notice that every time we kill one of those champions here and we spawn the worm, we actually get a fresh spawn of ads here that come in. So again, we're LOSing here. We are trying to get as many multi-kills as we can the entire time, and killing those orbs when you feel like you need to. So now that we've cleared 2 of those, now I'm going to place this up. And actually that explosion kills a lot of those ads there, so that's also good to do. Again, a little bit hectic here. Just make sure you're taking your time. Don't rush it. That mob in the middle, you can kill the mob in the middle. You can leave the mob up, but again, it does quite a bit of damage this night. So again, throwing my nade, going invisible. I decide to leave the other worm there just because the room has been cleared. Let's go here. Don't be afraid to use your heavy here. You break the shield with your Ecolos, you switch to your heavy to kill these shielded knights here. Just try to do it as quick as possible. There's plenty of heavy ammo here. Always use your finisher on the powerful enemies here. And that really is going to help you with constantly getting this heavy ammo here for your xenophage that you need. Our time is great right now, 7 minutes in this room right here. So at this point, I'm just letting my health go back up. I'm taking my time. There's no need to rush in there and try to kill that mob and the anti-barrier champion the night behind. So now that we have done that, we're going to use our heavy. We're going to break the shield. Again, think about line of sight all the time when you're here. Some of these knights do a lot of damage if they catch you. Again, we're going to use our heavy here to finish off the knight because we saw just the huge amount of heavy ammo that was outside. Once you kill one of those barrier champions, though, you do get a spawn in of ads. So make sure that you are aware of that. Get yourself in a nice spot where you can funnel them in. And after you clear that spawn, that's when you can pick up the worms and go place them in. We have 2 more that we need to place. So we're going to go here, and along the way, we're going to pick up our heavy ammo. Be careful for that knight that spawns in the middle. So you just kind of want to dodge that knight. Again, you've made it, so just take your time. While the bosses first appear in here, we're going to actually take our heavy. We're going to pick up the heavy ammo that's around the room. Super important that you have as much heavy ammo as you can. Again, I throw my grenade on there to recharge, and then I go invisible a couple times. But I think this is it right here. We're going to make sure we go in there with as much ammo as we can. We're going to pick up the ammo on everywhere we can. And I even kind of look back here for a little bit more before I jump in. Now, this is probably the hardest spot of this. I would say the final encounter is a little bit difficult too. Here, we're going to have one anti-barrier champion. We are going to have an unstoppable champion. But we're also going to have or should I say, 2 floating eyes that do a lot of damage with their attack and they have very long distance. So what we want to do here, we want to control the ogre first. Throw our grenade, go invisible. Now, even though this eye still sees you, you can quickly dispatch it with 2 xenophage, maybe 3. If it has a little bit of health left over, don't be greedy with that ammo. Use your heavy instead of switching, because you could die while you're switching those weapons. Afterwards, we come back, we control the ogre again with our hand cannon, and we use our finisher. All right, the next area is going to have the same setup. We're going to have, instead of this time, we're going to have a barrier champion instead of the unstoppable. Or we're going to have to deal with another one of those eyes. There are also a couple knights here. One of them is a wanted knight. Now, the wanted knight will give you more points if you choose to go for it. Be careful though, you don't need it. And it could get you killed, okay? I've died many times. What I do here is I use my shadow shot. It actually puts me in a very awkward spot here using it. So I didn't use it the right way. I kind of fell down. But that shadow shot there's going to clear most of the front. I'm not even dealing with those snipers up there. I just killed them with the xenophage just to get it done quickly. Now we still have the eye. So once that eye comes back up, we're going to shoot the eye, destroy the eye. Take our time here. Again, there are 2 knights. There is a barrier champion, and there is a wanted knight here. The wanted knight's going to give you those extra points. In our situation, we are going to let the knight go. We're going to focus more on surviving through this part. I don't want to waste all my ammo, get to that last encounter without xenophage rounds. So we're going to stay here, let our invisibility go up. Once that comes up, I suggest moving to the left side up here, kind of controlling where the platform that you're at here. You have a lot of cover that you can use. So I'm going to dodge here. I'm going to stay on this other side. So I'm LOSing the champions that are on my left. You can see them both right here firing at me. Now it does say that the wanted enemy is about to go away. We actually don't need to kill the wanted enemy. So if he can go away if he wants. If you want to go after him, go. Please do that. It's your choice. Just be careful. We're going to deal with the barrier champion here. Same thing we always do. We use our xenophage, we break the shield of the SMG, and we use the finisher to get our ammo back. Now at this point, I'm starting to be starting to conserve my ammo here using my hand cannon, because we're going to need a lot of ammo here for the end. And on a previous run, I did actually run out of ammo, and it made the run very difficult. So once this boss spawns in, use your grenade. I go invisible, get my grenade cooldown back. After a certain amount of damage, the boss will actually just retreat, go away, and the path is going to be clear. We're going to deal with a huge wave of spawns here, but also an unstoppable champion. I'm not going to fight down here. Once the spawn comes in, I'm going to stun the unstoppable champion and retreat. We're going to handle the waves that come in way back here. 2 reasons for that. We don't want to fight him on the bridge because we are going to lose those orbs of power that spawn in. So we want those orbs of power to be in a spot where we can pick them up. If you kill them all on the bridge, they might fall off the bridge and you're not going to be able to get them, okay? The other thing is that we're avoiding getting shot by the unstoppable champion up here. So you notice these orbs are still here. The ammo's still here. We're going to pick up all that ammo that we got there, and we're just going to kill the NPC there. I saw the ammo. I just decided to handle the unstoppable champion from range like that. And now we're moving into here. We have a good amount of heavy ammo. We have a good amount of submachine gun ammo, and our hand cannon ammo we're looking okay here. Now, this part, for the first initial part here, you're going to want to go invisible here. And you're going to want to quickly get to this part here. Go around the boss. Okay, LOS the boss. Kill the ads if you can first, and then you're just going to deal with the champion. I actually get a little greedy here with my xenophage. I should have switched right here, but I didn't, because I want to conserve it. And I actually take some serious damage here. Now that could have been avoided if I just would have killed the champion to begin with. However, that's, just be careful when you're doing that. If you feel comfortable saving your ammo, then save it. If you want to just get the champion killed, then do that as well. So I do see that ammo that spawns there. I'm going to make sure I pick that up in a little bit. This is the encounter. This is the final boss. If you die here, you're going to have to start from the very beginning of the top of that. You're going to have to drop down and do it over again. And I would say at this point, if you're doing it solo, it probably means you won't make it. So just be aware of that. It gets pretty hectic here. Make sure you are using all your heavy ammo here on these phases, throwing your grenades. There are 3 different phases for this. The first phase is going to have ads spawn on that left side of the room where the boss is right now. The second phase, they'll spawn in on the right side of the room. So again, we're going to LOS the boss. We're going to kite them. I actually let them come in a little bit closer to me here so I can pick up those orbs of power. And once I am done with there, then we just go back putting damage on the boss. I do suggest though, depending on the amount of heavy that you have, that you save some of that heavy for the final phase, that you use your submachine gun to whittle the boss down to a lower health here. Now again, this all depends on your time. I'm at 15 minutes at this point, so I'm deciding to use my SMG to weaken the boss and my grenades, kind of save my heavy ammo. When you get that second health bar down, the boss will change and the boss will head to the other side of the room where there's going to be a spawn here. Now you can use your super here if you like. If you're doing fine against the NPCs, just save it. Just kind of kite them. One thing that I did notice here is that a lot of the NPCs weren't coming to me at this point. So I used my hand cannon. This is why it's a good choice to have. I know some people might run a shotgun here, but you're really at a disadvantage with an SMG and a shotgun. So I just use my grenade. I use my True Prophecy here. I'm just killing ads. At this point, I have enough points where if I just kill the boss, I'm going to have my 100k. Again, look at your points, look at your ammo. Using my super here was not a good idea. In fact, I should have died there probably, but I was able to just get away. Again, be careful when you use that super. I probably should have saved that super for the final phase and then killed both the bosses at the same time much quicker. That was a mistake. Again, this by no means is a super clean run, but it is still very doable as long as you follow some of the steps that I've done throughout this video. So after just kind of slow playing it a little bit here, again, I have plenty of time and I'm aware of that. So make sure you are taking your time here. If you're pressed for time, yeah, it's going to be a little different here. But because I had so much time left over, I'm just kind of slow playing it. I'm not going to conserve my ammo here against this boss here. I'm going to make sure I get in there, dodge, go invisible, and then retreat. At the same time, we're getting close to the boss. That nade should have hit there. That would have really helped out with my invisibility, cooldown back up. So we're going to use the rest of our xenophage here. And you can see how hectic it is in here. I would definitely be staying in this back area and making sure that you are line of sighting the boss and the NPCs at all times. Those orbs of power pickups are super beneficial, okay? That's why I recommend doing that. You can see multiple times I've picked up an orb and it's actually giving my helped my recovery kick in. We're going to finally get to the split here. This is when I would use my super. This is when I should have used it right here at the start. And then I would have probably been done much quicker here because I would have been doing that damage to both of them instead of just the left one, okay? First one is down. I still got to deal with the other one, which means that now I have to deal with the other spawns that are going to come in, rather if I would have just tethered at that moment right there. So please save your tether for that final engagement. Again, we're matching the arc there. We're throwing our nade, and we're really just taking our time. It is now the 18-minute mark. Remember, we start losing points at the 20-minute mark. So we still have plenty of time to work here. Slowly kill the ads. And then we're going to turn our attention over to the boss. This is a completely unedited clip, as you've seen, right? This is the entire run. I didn't want to skip parts of it in case you wanted, you're going to see, I could have clipped this and you could have just seen just perfect run, right? You would have seen none of my mistakes there. But you could see that it is hectic. So I think that's good to show for people trying to attempt this. It's going to take a couple of runs for you to get used to this, to the pace of the game. To having to play at a faster pace here, of course. Once all the NPCs are taken out, then it's just the boss. So at this point, I'm out of xenophage, but I do have my SMG with plenty of ammo, my grenades, of course. And that's going to be the run, guys. That is, make sure you're always using that invisibility. And once we kill that boss, we are done. We actually got a platinum run here. 100k, actually 100,830. Okay, that just shows how important picking up those orbs is, because those orbs probably made the difference right there. Definitely made the difference there. So we got champion rewards, platinum, all champions defeated, 100k solo Nightfall. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Again, make sure you like the video if you like it. I'm really enjoying Destiny 2 content. I'm going to keep it up, keep it going, guys. Make sure to subscribe if you like the content and hit that bell. I'm actually working on multiple videos this week, so hopefully I'll get a couple more uploaded soon. Thanks again, guys, and I will talk to you guys later.